Good afternoon, friends. Hope you all are safe at home. And let me introduce myself. I'm Amrita and I belongs to Farouk College. I'm your new biology teacher, especially for botany. As you all aware of botany, right? You have studied it in your previous classes. What is botany and what are the things included in botany as a subject? Okay, I will tell you what is botany. That is the study of plants is regarded as botany. And today we are going to study a new chapter in botany, that is reproduction in organisms. So, all of you know that we have a certain lifespan. That means, what is a lifespan actually? A lifespan is the time period from birth to the natural death of an organism, right? A lifespan. Each of us or everyone have their own lifespan, like animals, plants, and our human beings. All of us have different lifespans, right? So, uh, do you know the lifespans of elephant? Do you know the lifespan of parrot? Okay, you are going to study all about it. And the lifespan, actually, I will repeat. A lifespan is actually the period of birth to the natural death of an organism. A lifespan is the period of birth to the natural death of an organism. It may vary according to the organism, right? It may vary according to their habitat, according to their living style. Okay, so each organism have their own lifespan, right? It did not depend upon its size or its morphology. Okay, the lifespan will changes accordingly. Okay, so in your textbook you can see the picture of different plants and animals. Okay, in your textbook you can see the picture of elephant, the picture of butterfly, and the picture of parrot, the picture of banyan tree, the picture of banana tree. So the lifespan of each and every organism will changes accordingly. Okay, so I think all of you well know about a lifespan and you are clear about it. Okay, so then let's move on to the next topic. Before that, in your textbook there is a portion that there is a picture of animals and plants, and below that there is a space provided for writing the lifespan of each animal. So you have to find out the lifespan of that organism and write it down on your textbook. Okay, so then next we move on to the next topic, that is reproduction. I think in the 11th standard itself you are already familiarized with the topic of reproduction. So in more detail we have to study it in our chapter reproduction. What is reproduction? Okay, the term itself have the meaning reproduction, that is producing new ones, right? So the organisms reproduce or produce new ones by itself. So it is similar to itself. So, reproduction is a biological process in which an organism gives rise to its young ones similar to itself. So, reproduction is a biological process in which an organism gives rise to its young ones similar to itself. Okay. So, actually, reproduction is a slow process. Okay. The organism will give rise to new ones. That is called as offsprings. Offsprings. So, these offsprings will grow, mature, and will give rise to new ones. Okay. So, organisms will give rise to new ones, that is called offsprings. So, these offsprings then grow and mature and they produce new offsprings, and this process will continue generation to generation, and that's why these our nature will have different organisms and plants, right? Okay. And reproduction enables the continuity of species. So, organisms may vary according to their internal physiology and habitat, right? Their internal physiology and habitat may vary differently. So, it is responsible for the style of reproduction that they adapt. They adapt reproduction according to their habitat or their internal physiology. So, we can say that an organism or any plant or any other animal, they have their own kind of reproduction. Okay. So, there are two different types of reproduction. There are two different types of reproduction, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual and sexual reproduction. I think all of you are little aware of these two, and we will discuss it in more detail. So, asexual reproduction, it is a form of reproduction that is, there is no gamete formation. That is, there is no male and female gamete produced, and the offsprings are produced by the parent itself. There is only one single parent for this reproduction. So, asexual reproduction is the kind of reproduction in which a single parent is present and there is no formation of male and female gametes. Oh, that's all about asexual reproduction. And sexual reproduction, it involves the production of male and female gametes. Okay. So, through asexual reproduction, the offsprings produced will be morphologically and genetically similar to its parent. Okay. Through asexual reproduction, the offsprings produced will be similar to its parent. So, it is called as clones. So, through asexual reproduction, the offsprings produced will be genetically and genetically and morphologically similar. So, it is called as clones. So, but in the case of sexual reproduction, we will discuss it in later. Okay. So, we discussed about clones, right? So, we can discuss asexual reproduction in more detail and with special reference to its examples. So, for example, in asexual reproduction, we can consider the unicellular organisms. We can consider unicellular organisms for asexual reproduction. Mainly, simple organisms like unicellular organisms carry out asexual reproduction. So, in the case of yeast, that is a fungi, in the case of yeast, it reproduces with the help of buds. So, in your textbook, we can shown a picture to you, that is how the fungi, how yeast reproduces through buds, And we can see that in fungi, I will show you a rough figure for you. So this is a fungi, right? This is a fungi. This is not the actual figure. I will show. This is a rough figure for you, and the actual figure is in your textbook. You can see it. Okay, this is a fungi, and it produces a bud in it, a small swelling in it, and it matures. It will matures finally to form a new bud. Okay. So this bud separated, or this bud detaches from the parent. So in fungi, we can see a parent cell here. We can call it as a parent cell. So this parent cell will have a swelling or projection, bud-like structure in it. So this bud will matures, and matures, then it detaches from the parent cell. This will likewise. This will detaches from the parent cell, and it will form into a new offspring, and it will grow and mature. Later it will also produces buds like that. So this is an asexual form of reproduction in yeast, the bud formation. Okay, and you can have you clear that? Okay, then we can move on to another example, that is amoeba. In amoeba, there is binary fission occurs. What is binary fission? So the term itself means that binary. Binary means one cell divided into two. Okay. I will show you a rough figure. Don't copy this. This is actually a rough only, and you can see the actual picture in your textbook. So amoeba. Assume that this is an amoeba, right? So amoeba, this is the parent cell, right? It is the parent cell, and parent cell divided into, this is the nucleus, right? Nucleus in a parent cell. And this nucleus will also divided into two. This nucleus will enlarges, and it will divided into two, and it will get separated. So the forms two daughter amoebas. So in this picture itself, we can see that from a parent cell, two daughter cells are formed. So the term, we can say that binary fission. From the parent cell, by cleavage or by division, two daughter cells are formed asexually. So these are the two examples for asexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction is the process of producing new ones or offsprings without any gamete formation. It is similar to the parent cell, or it can be called as, we can call it as a clone. Okay. And in algae, you are familiar with algae and fungi, right? Okay. In algae and fungi, the most common asexual reproduction structure are zoospores. You are familiar with zoospores. Zoospores are the structure, the asexual reproductive structures in algae and fungi. These are the motile spores. What means this motile? Motile means one have the ability to move. The microscopic motile spores are called zoospores. Zoospores are present in algae and certain other fungi, etc. So they reproduce through asexual reproduction, right? And I will give you some more examples for asexual reproduction structure. Conidia in Penicillium. Conidia in Penicillium. Conidia in Penicillium, buds in Hydra and gemmules in sponge. Buds in Hydra and gemmules. Gemmules in sponges. Sponges are certain organisms, right? So these are the asexually reproducing structures found in certain organisms. Conidia in Penicillium, buds in Hydra and gemmules in sponges. And as I told you earlier that zoospores in algae and fungi. Okay. So these are all about asexual reproduction, and you are familiar with the asexual reproduction, the vegetative reproduction, right? What is vegetative reproduction? You have studied it in your 11th standard, right? So what are vegetatively reproducing organisms? It is yes, it is similar to asexual reproduction, but in plants it is called as vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction, and in animals and certain other organisms it is called as asexual reproduction. That is the major difference between asexual reproduction and vegetative reproduction. So you have studied some vegetatively reproducing structures, right? That is vegetative propagules, that we called it as vegetative propagules. And the examples you have already know that the vegetative propagules are rhizomes, runners, suckers, tubers, and bulbils. These are all the vegetatively reproducing structures found in plants. So these are called it as vegetative propagules. So that's all about vegetative propagation. And you must have heard about scourge of water, right? What is scourge of water? That is, scourge of water also means the terror of Bengal. I will explain it in detail. The terror of Bengal. You heard about it? Terror of Bengal. What is the terror of Bengal? So it is a dangerous condition faced in Bengal. That is, in standing water of Bengal, there occurs a dangerous plant, that is water hyacinth. Water hyacinth. This plant invades the standing water body of Bengal, and it will causes draining of oxygen in the water. So it is a most serious condition in Bengal, that is the standing water body become unusable for plants and other organisms. The most invading crop or the most invading plant, water hyacinth, had created this problem. This plant invaded the water body, and it used the oxygen in water. So the animals like fishes and other aquatic animals lost. They can't get sufficient quantity of oxygen, so they died soon. So this is the most dangerous condition occurred in the water of Bengal. So this water hyacinth is the plant which invaded the surface of water. It is not actually the it is not actually our plant. It is it is invaded, or it is an exotic plant introduced from a certain other country. So what is the reason to export, or what is the reason to introduce this plant to India is like that. It is the speciality of its leaves and the beautifulness of its flower. Its flower is really beautiful, so that it is introduced to India. But we are not aware of the drastic condition or the difficulties that we have to face. So in Bengal, it created a major problem like terror of Bengal or scourge of water. So that's all about water hyacinth. And so then we can move on to the next topic, that is sexual reproduction in more detail. What is sexual reproduction? And sexual reproduction, the term itself means there is there is a formation of male, there is the involvement of male and female gamete and the production of new offspring together. So in sexual reproduction, the two gametes, male and female gametes of a same individual or from different individual of opposite sex, that is male and female, opposite sex, male and female gametes of two different individual or same individual fuse together to form a new offspring. That means the sexual reproduction. Here, it is an elaborate, complex and a slow process compared to asexual reproduction. So in sexual reproduction, it is a common reproduction, and it is much more elaborate and more complicated than asexual reproduction, right? Okay. In sexual reproduction, as I told you, that there is involvement of male and female gamete. Okay. So in addition, I will add on the male gamete. We can represent it as like this. This is not in your textbook. I will add on your knowledge. So this is a male gamete. Male gamete. So a male gamete will fuse with a female gamete. A female gamete, we can represent it as like this. Okay. They form the zygote. Zygote. This is the process behind the sexual reproduction, but it is a more complicated process. We can't explain only by this, and we can discuss it in our next classes also. So if a male gamete and a female gamete fuse to form, they fuse together to form a zygote. This is the overall process of sexual reproduction. Okay. So as I told you that in asexual reproduction, the offsprings produced will be morphologically and genetically identical. I told you that it is called as a clone, right? Do you remember that? So in this case, in the case of a sexual reproduction, it is not like that. The offsprings will be having different morphology and different genetics. It will be changed according to their parent or like that. Okay, it will not be identical. Okay, the offsprings will not be identical. So sexual reproduction occur in almost all organisms, but there will be difference in their mode. Sexual reproduction occurs almost all organism, but it will be there will be changes in certain cases, certain stages only. And sexual reproduction only occurs when the organism the organism attain maturity. Maturity is the most important factor for carrying out sexual reproduction, or the sexual maturity. So all organisms, as we all know that in our case also, we are growing. So we have certain stages in our life, right? So we have certain periods in our life. First we have early childhood, later childhood, then puberty, like that. So in other organism also, there will be having different periods or different stages of life. So in juvenile, there is the first stage is juvenile phase or the vegetative phase. Juvenile phase in animals and vegetative phase in plants. Okay, at the end of this juvenile phase, the reproductive phase will appears. Okay, they will be having different stages in life. So in animals, it is juvenile phase, or in plants it is called as vegetative phase. So this phase will, the end of this phase will be having the reproductive phase. So in this reproductive phase only, the organisms get sexually reproduced. So the stages of our life is juvenile phase, and then at the end of this phase is called as reproductive phase, and only in this reproductive phase the organism will be able to reproduce sexually. Okay, so more about sexual reproduction we will discuss in our next classes. So that's all about today, and hope you all are better know about all this. And if you have any doubt, you can contact me. And that's all about today, and thank you for listening. Thank you.